All right, I got a question. See, because I can't see myself being angry over people being removed from a country that came there illegally. So I'm serious. I had a serious question. So I've told you guys in the past that the ones that I feel bad for are the children who didn't choose this life. Their parents brought them here. Okay. And the people that were told, hey, come on over here. We'll make it right and we'll do this and do that. Just vote for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. That whole thing when they were busting them in. I feel bad for them because they were sold a dream. Okay. Now, for those that came here illegally, first, let me back up. For all the people that are against ICE removing people, deporting people, I need you to send me a video that fully encapsulates your feelings and, most importantly, states facts and laws and all this other stuff as to why this is wrong. I need to understand that. Because when Obama was deporting people, I didn't see this level of outcry and people wilding out like this and, protesting and marching. And, I didn't see this. So he's the king of deportation. And I've seen that in several different reports. So what's the difference? Why? Why are you mad about one president doing it and not another president doing it? And I keep seeing people say it's unconstitutional, but they never say why it's unconstitutional. Okay, it very well could be, but I need to know why. And then I see people talking about, well, take your mask off. They're wearing masks. Oh my God, they're wearing masks. Well, a lot of law enforcement wears masks when they're doing certain things. FBI and other ones, they wear masks too. So I don't understand why you aren't flipping out about them either, wearing masks. So I just post the link in the comment section. Now, YouTube may have changed this rule, I think. So I'll give you two options. Post the link in your comment. What YouTube may do is send it to a specific folder for me. Okay? If you notice, if you're a person that posts links, you'll never see your link posted. And that's because YouTube, I think they're cracking down on scams and stuff like that. So it goes to a particular folder for me, and I get to view it there. If it doesn't allow you to post the link, send it to Tyrone Magnus fanmail@gmail.com. Never send any email to any other email address if you're a fan. Understand? Never. Okay? So, Tyrone Magnus fanmail@gmail.com, and I'll take a look at it and see why people are ranting and raving and risking their lives over this. I would never risk my life for someone that did something illegal. I don't get it. I'm not doing it. So, let's take a look at this because thousands of anti-ICE people are raging nationwide. One of you wrote something the other day. You said, that's why I stay my ass in the house. You damn right. That's why I stay my ass in the house. Like, I don't understand why people go out looking for problems. Like, isn't it illegal to keep federal law enforcement of any kind from doing their job? Like, oh.
But we must get to the news, and we start with Fox News Alert. Anti-ICE protests erupting across the U.S. with thousands of clash-filled demonstrations taking place in cities.
And as usual, there's certain things I can show and certain things I can't show. Why? Because if it's the little bit minor piece of aggression or violence, gets the video flagged and in trouble. Regular news channels can show it, and other YouTubers, they risk their channels and videos by showing it. I'm not. Okay? I've literally been in contact with YouTube for years. Okay? And been able to speak to people in YouTube. I know what they are cool with and what they're not cool with. And just because something didn't happen to this particular YouTube channel for showing it, don't mean that it won't down the line. And there's a particular YouTube channel that I watch a lot of. And I noticed he showed something one time. This was months ago. He showed something that I blacked out. And then I saw his video disappear. And he's big. As far as this goes, talking news, he's way bigger than me. This dude's a multi-millionaire doing this stuff. And all of a sudden, that video disappeared. And then the next few videos I saw of him talking about certain stuff all had the stuff blurred out. That's right. It happened to him. And he had been doing it for years. Okay? I know what you can show and what you can't show. YouTube is massive. Massive. And they don't have nearly enough people to police every single video that comes out. That's why you see certain YouTubers getting away with stuff and certain ones don't. That's why you see it. Trust me on that.
Like Los Angeles, Austin, and Minneapolis.
As DHS releases new video showing the minutes leading up to the fatal shooting of Renee Good.
Our own Matt Finn is live on the ground in cold Minneapolis with the latest on this entire event. Matt?
Hi, Rachel. The protests here in Minneapolis seem to be growing larger. Yesterday, a massive crowd, thousands and thousands of people gathered in Powderhorn Park in Minneapolis. That's a notable location because that is where former Minneapolis City Council members announced their now failed campaign to dismantle the police here in Minneapolis.
I'd be in my house with the heat on, gaming or watching a movie.
And that really sparked a nationwide movement. Now, yesterday, after the demonstrations in that park, also similarities to the George Floyd riots in 2020, protesters marched down Lake Street. That was a much different scene yesterday because in 2020, many portions of Lake Street were set on fire during the George Floyd protests and riots. And here are some anti-ICE protesters.
Yeah, I know people are calling her the second coming of George Floyd. I noticed that I got a lot more requests to talk about political news when I did a reaction to Candace Owens talking about George Floyd. People loved the position that I took when looking at that. And before that, I had done other videos, you know. I think I did something on George Floyd, I think. There were other stuff too before that, years before. I remember doing, you know, a lot of those videos got flagged because of certain violence and stuff happening in them. And they maybe have been taken down, you know what I'm saying? So for those that say that, you know, I never did anything political, I always have. It just hasn't been as much. People ramped up with their requests for me to do more videos after that particular reaction to Candace Owens' video. So I think that video got 500, 600,000 views or whatever. And I was like, whoa, when I saw it, I was like, what the hell, why is this video blowing up like this? They just loved the stance that I took. The way I listened to her and took notes and tried to think critically of the particular situation, you know what I'm saying? So, but I've always been like that, you know, for the most part. You know, I don't get too super emotional over too many things, you know what I'm saying? And if I do, immediately afterwards I calm down and that's just it, you know, like I need to understand the particular situation before I pass judgment. And if I do pass judgment and more information is eventually given to me, my position may change. That's how life goes, and that's what you should do. Don't just change it because, I don't know, people got mad at you, or a bigger YouTuber said something else, or no, or change it just because you think a particular position will get you more views. Just give your honest view, and you may or may not be right about your in your particular position, but at least you're being honest about it. And that's what I expect you to expect when you come in, to get this guy's honest opinion. And he'll admit to you, he don't know everything. And he's always learning and learning new things. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
They're not out here trying to detain criminals. They're out here trying to incite chaos. And just, it has to be stopped.
I have always been surrounded by a lot of immigrants and my family and my roots. So I'm here to stand up for what I think is right, and we as a community are here together.
Now, Minneapolis police say well over 1,000 protesters and some rioters damaged parts of the Renaissance and Canopy hotels downtown Friday. 29 people were arrested, one officer injured after being hit with a piece of ice. And there's also new video leading up to the moments of Renee Good's shooting.
There's probably a pun or a joke in that.
ICE agent on Wednesday.
That's the new one that was released. Yep, that's for sitting there beeping. And
the video appears to show Renee Good's SUV attempting to block the street and honking the horn. Now, Border Patrol here on the ground, they tell us it is dangerous for agents to be blocked in by a car because there are so many anti-ICE agitators who quickly surround them. And Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, along with other House representatives, say they were denied full access to an ICE facility here in Minneapolis yesterday.
This is just one more example of this administration and Kristi Noem violating the law. This is an out-of-control Trump's ICE.
When people are disappeared in the darkness, American democracy dies.
Isn't she part of some scam going on? Let me know if that's true or not. I haven't looked into that one yet, she kind of bores me. I don't really, I'm not really interested in much anything that she does, but everything from marrying her brother, whether I don't know it's true or not, to celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, to other stuff like that, certain things bore me when I'm looking at the news. I think certain people do stuff for attention and for, just to, get the spotlight on them. And she feels like that. She may not be. She may be a complete angel sent from God to lead us into the new land. But I just don't know. But
they are not only disappearing people who have committed crimes, who are in this country undocumented. They are disappearing U.S. citizens.
Good Lord.
Now, DHS fired back, saying members of Congress
I ain't seen lips that cracked ever.
Improper and out of compliance with existing court orders and policies which mandate that members of Congress must notify ICE at least 7 days in advance of congressional visits. DHS also says Representative Omar basically led protests, cheered these protests on at the ICE facility. Back to you guys in New York.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, Charlie, and Griff, do you guys remember Bill Bennett? He wrote a book called The Death of Shame.
Yes, indeed.
That's what I think about when I see Ilhan Omar just showing her face. Like, does she know shame of everything that's just happened in the Somali community? She clearly knew what was going on in that.
That would probably be an interesting read, because especially in the past, in the internet age, the social media age, you start to see shame disappear more and more and more. And people ain't ashamed to act like a damn fool at all. And it's amazing to me.
And she has turned a blind eye. She's defended it. And here she is, talking about all of this and getting on her high horse and really instigating and fueling so many of these riots here and protests against ICE, just trying to get off the streets. I keep wondering,
Right.
you say who's funding these groups? Why don't we know more about these groups?
True, but real quick about Ilhan Omar, you are right. She's not only fueling these protests and sometimes it gets violent, but she's also fueling the anti-ICE rhetoric that is causing the ICE agents to have a 13% 100 increase in assaults on them, a 3,000 plus increase in vehicular assaults. But at the end of the day, Ilhan Omar is entitled to her opinion, but not entitled to her facts, as the saying goes. And she is spreading this narrative that ICE is out to kill citizens and round up and disappear U.S. citizens. It's preposterous. It's not true. And actually, the people she's protecting, as we just pointed out earlier today, a illegal immigrant from Laos was convicted of then was allowed to roam free in Minneapolis because of the sanctuary city policy. And now ICE has a duty, an obligation to be there, and she is spreading a narrative that is totally false.
Yeah, they also picked up a Somali murder as well, illegal immigrant Somali murder. She didn't say anything about that.
So if your political platform, if your political effort right now is to defend, which is what Ilhan Omar and other Democrats in Minneapolis are doing, if that's your safe space in terms of...
Yo, why do all these Somali dudes that they be posting pictures of look so crazy? Did y'all see this? When they were posting all these pictures and stuff of the dudes getting in trouble, I was like, why do these dudes look so crazy? By the way, too, for any of you that unsubscribe because I don't agree with you politically, that's fine. Go ahead and leave. But I've said this before. This isn't the airport. You don't have to announce your departure. I don't care. No one in the comments cares. If you feel the need to go, just go. Just remember, someone always will subscribe and take your place when that happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not a concern of mine, okay? If you're that sensitive to, bye. You're lucky I don't own a damn restaurant. Because the customer is not always right.
Like your political platform, what are you running away from? You're running away from the biggest fraud investigation that we've seen certainly in my memory of covering politics. And as we've spoken to yesterday,
I'm hearing Walsh might be in big trouble. Don't know, but we'll see.
And today, reported that this is we're just looking at Minneapolis, but this is going on all over the country. And in the earlier hour, we talked to Dustin Greggy, who's a columnist based in Minneapolis, talking about some of these protests, and this is what he had to say.
There was a lot more energy and ultimately a lot more flames in the summer love. Right now, the winter love isn't quite kicking off to what it used to be. And simply put, it's because of videos like this that have recently come out where we're seeing 3.5-minute narrative busters where DHS and President Trump ended up being correct from day one that this woman was impeding on law enforcement. She knew exactly what she was doing. She wasn't simply a mom dropping off her kids or in the wrong place at the wrong time. She had been following them all day at this point and ultimately honking her horn and smiling and dancing to the beat of it. And ultimately, how do we get here? It's because of politicians like Tim Walz who came out here, labeled these ICE agents as Gestapo, and Peggy Flanagan, our lieutenant governor, who told these activists to, quote unquote, put their bodies on the line.
Yeah, and politicians like Tim Walz, but also really ungrateful immigrants like Ilhan Omar. She is also fueling that. And he's so right. As more angles come out, the story.
Certain people also are very easily led. It doesn't matter who it is that's saying something, whether they're in a position of authority or I have respect for them or not. I always think about what they're saying. Sometimes certain people of influence say something and I will agree wholeheartedly. Sometimes it'll be partially. Sometimes I will totally disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just, they said it. Now I'm just going to go and do it. Doesn't work like that. I've never been the person that, oh, Michael Jordan drinks Coke, I'm going to go drink Coke too. That doesn't work on me, you know? Does Coke taste good? Okay, then I'll drink it. You get what I'm saying? You can't, oh, The Rock wears Under Armour. No, I've got to get Under Armour. Do I like Under Armour? Maybe I'll try it because somebody I respect in a particular field might like it. Oh, yeah, that's what he tried. Oh, maybe I'll try it out. I'll go try the shoes on, see if I like how they fit. But if they don't, I'm not getting them. But you think about it politically and commercially with certain things, like it really works. That's the reason why they get people of influence or power or respect or whatever you want to call it to do certain things because it absolutely works. Well, he said it, so I'm going to do it.
From the ICE officer gets proved over and over again. And these guys should be eating crow right now, but they continue to stand by their narrative because this is all about politics. It has nothing to do with what's right for the city of Minneapolis.
I wonder where that term came from, eating crow. Eating the literal bird? I'm going to have to look that up and see where it came from. Let's see if Google's AI will tell me. Where did the term eating crow come from?
The phrase eating crow comes from the idea of eating the meat of a scavenger bird, which is seen as unpleasant. A story from around 1850, possibly related to the War of 1812, helped make the phrase mean to admit you were wrong.
Because you don't want to eat crow because it's a scavenger bird. Got you. Okay.
Neighborhoods that are being set free from having rapists and murderers, and that wall was incredible that you had up.
And this may work for Minneapolis politics for Ilhan Omar, but I can't help but think that broadly speaking, nationwide, this does not help Democrats.
No, and history is going to look at this and say, as that report said, how did we get here? And they're going to look at the longer arc to realize that one president, Joe Biden, opened up the border and greatly put America's public safety, national security at tremendous risk by releasing more than 12 million illegal aliens from all over the world. I'm Steve.
Man. Oh, so tiring. Now y'all see why for years I actually stayed away from watching the news. Like I didn't watch the news much. Like I would find out stuff from people at work. People at work would tell me about stuff. Well, what you mean that happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Or I would find out from my accountant about certain things, Oh, this year you got to do this with the, okay. Oh, there's penalties for this now. Okay. All right. How much do I have to pay this year? All right. Where do I sign? Okay. As long as my accountant's, following the law to the T, which she is, okay. I'm always trying to not be irritated. I don't know what it is about certain people that are drawn to irritating aspects of society. But like I said, I mainly do these for you guys, but it has helped me keep, I'm not about keeping my head in the sand. But there's certain things that I don't have much control over. So what I can control, I do control. Things that I can't control, I will from time to time about. But, I try not to get too flustered about certain things because there's enough stress in human life for me to be, just all up in arms about people being deported that came here illegally. Like, just get in line, do it the right way. Please do it the right way. I would have done it the right way. But whatever.